What happens when two leaders remember the same research entirely differently? A while back, I watched a product manager and an engineering lead argue about user research results. Both were very confident. Both were very wrong. Stick around and we'll learn how my team fell for the misinformation effect so you don't have to. What's up, UX fam? Welcome to another edition of the Cognition Catalog. Every week, we'll dig into a new cognitive bias and explore how that bias can impact how our team works together and what we can do to ensure we don't get caught up in the pitfalls. Because working with people is hard, and the more insight we have into the human condition makes it just a little bit easier. To learn more about the misinformation effect, you can find more resources at cognitioncatalog.com. Sign up for the newsletter to get a new bias in your inbox every week, and make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you never have to worry about falling for any of these biases again. And if you think you're getting something out of the show, I would really appreciate you leaving a 5-star review. That would help me out so much. And if you want to pick up some big, beautiful art prints of some select biases, make sure to check out beyonduxdesign.com/shop. Get free shipping on all orders over $30 and use the promo code LISTENER to get 10% off your entire order. So let me tell you a story. We were a quarter into what was about 6 months worth of work. During a refinement session, one of our PMs insisted that we were missing a feature that shop inspectors absolutely needed. An engineering lead thought we missed something else altogether, and they were adamant that our prototypes were missing features that they swore were important for users. They went back and forth for a few minutes until one of my designers finally interjected. They were both wrong. The research showed that shop inspectors struggle to switch between parts on large quantity jobs. The original shop visit interviews barely mentioned those other critical requirements that the PM and the engineering lead were arguing about. And it turns out both had several conversations with people outside of the shop who thought they knew what was happening on the ground. Both were fed incorrect information, which ultimately made them believe that the original research said something else entirely. So this is the misinformation effect in action. Our memories aren't reliable recordings. They're stories that get unconsciously rewritten every meeting, every discussion, and every email thread that we participate in. So what ultimately convinced them that they were wrong? Well, unfortunately, it wasn't my designer, although she was great. It was the report out from our research trip and the hours of recordings. So the next time you're confident about what was said in a meeting 6 months ago, ask yourself, do I remember that correctly? Or do I remember the meeting about the meetings? So let's talk about the misinformation effect. What is it? We tend to modify our memories of events when exposed to false information after the fact. This bias shows how our memories are actually malleable and can be influenced by post-event information, even when that information is incorrect. Elizabeth Loftus first documented the misinformation effect in the 1970s through her research on eyewitness testimony for court procedures. In her initial studies, participants watched videos of car accidents and then they were later asked questions containing misleading information. And she found that misleading information was often incorporated into the memories of the original event. Later research expanded on these findings even more, showing that the misinformation effect occurs not just in experimental settings, but also in real-world situations. More studies in the 80s and 90s demonstrated how things like media coverage, leading questions, and even conversations with others could alter people's memories of events that they had personally experienced. The strength of the misinformation effect depends on various factors, including the time between the original event and exposure to the misinformation, the source's credibility, and the individual's confidence in their original memory. Now, research has shown that even when people are warned about the possibility of misinformation, they can still fall for its effects. So misinformation can significantly impact decision-making and project outcomes for software teams. When team members discuss past projects or decisions, their recollections might be influenced by subsequent conversations or incorrect documentation. So for example, during things like retros, team members might misremember the events that led to a particular problem, especially if there have been discussions about the issue with many different interpretations among the team members. So this can lead to incorrect root cause analysis and ultimately ineffective solutions. The effect can also impact documentation. If we don't record decisions or rationalize them immediately, our memories might be influenced by discussions or assumptions later, leading to inaccurate reporting and potentially misguided decisions in the future. So this can impact everything from roadmaps to user research and everything in between. So how can you avoid the misinformation effect? Well, here are a few things that you can try. First, understand that memories are malleable. Your memory is not like a recording, it's more like a story, and it gets slightly rewritten each time you tell it. This awareness helps you approach your recollections with a healthy bit of skepticism. Next, record decisions in their original context. Maintain detailed documentation of the context, the constraints, and all the assumptions that were present when the decisions were made. This can prevent current knowledge retroactively influencing how past choices are understood. Create memory checkpoints. Review and verify everybody's understanding of key decisions and events against documented evidence. This can help identify and correct memory modifications before they impact any outcomes. And then lastly, correct misinformation as soon as possible. Now, research has shown that addressing misinformation directly, even after it's already influenced memory, can reduce its long-term impact. So the sooner corrections are made, the more effective they are at helping restore accurate memories. Well, all right, y'all, that's it for the Cognition Catalog for today. I hope I helped to shed a little bit of light on what the misinformation effect is and how we can avoid some of these pitfalls at home and at work. But I'm curious, have you run into issues related to the misinformation effect before? How'd your team get through it? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what you think on LinkedIn or shoot me an email at hello@beyonduxdesign.com. I'd love to hear from you. To learn more about the misinformation effect, you can find more resources at cognitioncatalog.com. Sign up for the newsletter to get a new bias in your inbox every week, and make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you never have to worry about falling for the misinformation effect again. And if you think you're getting something out of the show, I would really appreciate you leaving a 5-star review. That would help me out so much. And if you want to pick up some big, beautiful art prints and some select biases, make sure to check out beyonduxdesign.com/shop. Get free shipping on all orders over $30 and use the promo code LISTENER to get 10% off your entire order. And if you have a favorite bias that you want to see in print, let me know. I'd be happy to take requests. Until next time, remember you're more than a designer because there's more to UX and design. I'll see you around. Take care, y'all.